The oldest member of my family that is still around is my granddad. I guess the earliest memory I have of him is of him talking to me about the war. Loads of, I guess, amazing stories. He worked on Spitfire war aircraft during that period of time. I guess that without his creative ambitions and the work that he did, I probably may have never chosen to do the certain endeavours that I do right now. In that case, though, majority of my family kind of do what society is given as you kind of normal jobs. My dad worked as a postman, general sticking letters through letterboxes and sorting letters. Even though it's not in some senses creative, he still enjoyed doing what he does. Out of all my family, though, I guess the only person that almost kind of follows in my footsteps is my mum. But she spent most of her life, like me, doing things creative, but she kind of started off firstly doing music. She used to play the trombone at school and recorder, which I actually ended up playing and being pretty decent at. However, she's gone on to do music blogging slash promotion for like a London-based company called EQ Music. She kind of her role in this business is to kind of promote up-and-coming musicians. And then we have my brother Callum, also my twin. He kind of started his life off like me in education. He then went on to do administration for a property company or mortgage company. And then he kind of went on to work at St Elizabeth's Hospice, which as a family, it's quite a momentous and special place for him to work. The reason for this being is that we lost our nan there a couple of years ago. So I think it's really nice for him to be working there, and in many cases it's kind of almost like a returning the favour. I've always kind of had to jump over obstacles in my life. From a very young age, I wasn't well. I had being a twin, and there was loads of problems with my strength, being weak as a really young baby, having to go into hospital for basically a life-threatening operation after a couple of weeks of being born. From what I was told, and always am told, is that it was basically an ultimatum. They were given a choice, of what to kind of do. If they're basically saying, that I might not be able to make it through this operation. And I guess through that instance of life, it's always taken me through, the kind of the notion of jumping over hurdles or obstacles has kind of taken me through life in general. I was in high school and my teachers there basically said I'd never get into college or university because I'm not that great academically, and that was used to get me down. I used to play music on school and that, and so that was kind of a safe haven in many cases. As well as most of my hobbies, really, I kind of, as I've said, I used to play music when I was younger. In my spare time, I guess, in terms of most things, it's one of the reasons why I love music so much, is because I a couple of years ago I started suffering from depression and anxiety, so music has generally been something I've done to kind of, in some cases, cure certain feelings and thoughts and put them down, or just to kind of have fun, really. In many cases I've been kind of technology savvy, so I've loved playing with computers when I was a kid, and I've always been into video games. I still do that now with my friends at university. We have lovely gaming sessions, we play, we have fun. We sometimes get annoyed when we don't do well, but it's good because, in many cases, loads of people in the world seem to think that video games isn't a form of social interaction. But in many cases, at some points, there's like four of us. We get a good squad-based game together. We play, we have fun, and then there's kind of having to learn to make food. I kind of took a choice in university. I could have stayed at home. I could have lived at home, but I wanted to learn independence. And I think the best way to learn independence is if you kind of live by yourself and learn the kind of everything. It may be student accommodation, but in the same sense, you have to learn to, clean, wash, cook, and look after yourself. I guess that this goes to show that no matter what your previous generations have done, you are the one that decides what you become and your own future.